Hello, everyone. I'm Marty Janeski, and along with my good friend Ken Montroy, we are your host of the local sports wrap-up here on Wyandotte Cable Channel 15. Today is September 7th.
Yes.
Yes. September,
Unless they've changed it.
Unless they've changed it. 2019. I have to say happy birthday to my good friend Ken here. He had a birthday last week.
I did. When you get older, you forget
I didn't get
those.
you anything. Here, have a Sharpie.
I've always needed these at the start of the show, as you can tell by the way I read things.
There you go. And how was the
Thanks.
week? How was the birthday party? I saw little pictures on Facebook.
Oh, you did? Pretty good. Pretty good. I had the family there, and they surprised me. They're the ones who coordinated it. It was all really good. And
How are you with surprises when that kind of stuff goes down?
kind of good, but you know, at a certain point in your life, whenever they're starting to take pictures with you, it's not good because they never stopped by to take pictures before. Just kidding to the family, just kidding. But everybody wants a picture with me now.
Well,
Hey, you know, they're even sending over pictures. It's going to go in my collage.
there you go. Well, you know. It
But
is,
anyway,
uh,
on a brighter note,
well, let's see. We had hurricane just decimated the Bahamas.
Yes.
Before we get into sports.
yes.
And it went up the coast and knocked power out all the way up the coast in the Carolinas. And it's right now it's currently making havoc with Maine and Boston and all that. They've closed all their beaches, but it'll be gone. Be gone in a matter of 3 hours, on its way to.
That's now.
That's now.
But during the Bahamas, you had a hurricane that was not moving.
Oh, it was devastating.
Devastating to say the least. It is just incomprehensible.
So obviously the American Red Cross is getting involved.
Yes. But you know, as a tourist, when they say it's a hurricane season, I ain't going. Especially to the Bahamas. How are you going to rebuild that with all the hurricanes that are coming back all the time?
You know, I'm a weather geek to an extent, and there are a few forming out on the east. They form from the deserts in Africa. Did you know that? They
The
form and they
hurricanes?
start twirling. Yeah, and
So they bring all that sand?
no, they just form there with the conditions are right, and then they move east or west. I'm sorry, west. But yeah, they form in the desert. It's the craziest thing.
Wow.
And they slowly work their way over the water, and then they get stronger and stronger and stronger.
Wow. Didn't know that. Thank you.
You know,
I'm going to have to watch one of those shows. They have one of those shows, eco shows.
more than likely. Anyway, we're having we're
Yeah, so we're having the Red Cross is going there constantly, but anybody that could help out. Let me see if I'm getting this right. There we go.
there we go.
There we go. Yeah, hide my face.
September 10th.
But anyway, blood is always needed, not only for this particular situation, but it's needed constantly. If you have blood you can give, please give blood.
They can never. The blood bank can never be.
And that's on September 9th. Excuse me, September 10th from noon to 6.
Okay,
Okay, and it's going to be at the
it's a Tuesday.
at the American Legion
By the water.
over by the water here in Wyandotte. So please
Do what you
please
can to help.
Do what you can to help. All right, that's that. Okay, now back to that storm. Now they brought in people to help out people on the island, obviously to help the injured, so on and so forth. I'm surprised they didn't bring in dogs that would hunt for bodies, because when they uncover everything that's been torn down, they're going to find, in my estimation, thousands of people that are still there.
Well, thousands is high. A lot of them evacuated. A lot of them got off the island, and a lot of them didn't.
The peasants didn't. I'll bet.
Well,
It's tough to swim.
That's a
Okay, and
it's a
sharks.
harsh term, but yes, you are correct that some people didn't have the resources
Hurricane,
to get off the island.
sharks.
I agree with you 100%. So they had to ride it out. And if you looked at the pictures, everybody's house got decimated when there's a tornado sitting over your house for 36 hours. Basically 190-mile-an-hour winds just knocked everything down. So they have to rebuild. You're right, they're going to find bodies. And from what I understand, the water level's still high.
They said they had sharks going down the streets. Can you imagine that?
I believe sharks could be going down the street.
It's like I definitely have to be in some form of floaty. I don't care what it was, surfboard, whatever.
You see Jaws, they like that.
Yes, yes. Well, that brings up a point over there. They had a fire out in California, Santa Cruz Island, or out there by Santa Cruz.
A diving ship.
Unbelievable. Did you see the hatches that they went into to get down below? There's no way, being claustrophobic or a little bit claustrophobic, I'm going to go down in that hatch and then wait for somebody to open it up for me in the morning to go get breakfast or whatever. I couldn't have done that to begin with. And then when they have a fire and everybody's going for that door,
yeah, there's no
fat guy's going to have to wait. Because if he gets stuck, we're all screwed. But it did catch fire. Some of them got off. The ones on top. That, I tell you what, next time I'm sleeping on top, because I'll tell you what, something goes wrong, I can at least get off the boat. But, yeah, those poor souls in the bottom that got burnt up.
They had no chance. They had no chance.
They had no chance. Absolutely no chance.
And I have a cousin that dives all the time.
Oh, you do? And they go on expeditions?
Well,
like
they have their own ship, but, yeah.
Oh,
you gotta be careful.
He has his own ship?
Yeah, down in Florida there.
Have you been on it?
I've been on his boat. The one they dive off of is a lot bigger.
Oh, okay. Wow, how nice.
He's got
So you've dived before then?
Snorkeled would be a better
word.
word.
Oh, snorkeled. I've snorkeled.
He dives. I snorkeled with him.
Right. I see you down there.
With my little floaty, so I could just kind of
look. Oh, yeah. Looks like fun.
Looks like there's a fish, there's a fish, there's a fish. That's my extent right there.
When I snorkeled, I went in the water, and they gave me a floaty, which I requested. But they gave me a floaty, so I'm out there, and I said, hey, what's that bell for on that shit, on the little boat that we're on, catamaran? He said, well, that's for you guys when you're out there. If we spot a shark, we're going to ring the bell. I said, dude, you could just yell at me. I'll be right here. Because they have steps to go right up onto the
dinner bell for the shark.
Oh yeah. Ding, ding, here they are.
There you go, dinner, where?
Speaking of that, those sharks out there in California, what's been pretty interesting because they rarely ever get their food cooked.
Yeah, I'll take mine well.
You can take it however it gets it, but anyway.
Football.
Oh, we're in the football
high school,
already?
Second week of the season, and our Roosevelt Bears, they did just fine.
All right.
Went over to Edsel Ford, went into Dearborn, and pretty much slapped Edsel Ford, 41-7.
Oh, don't say slapped.
Oh, don't say slapped. Okay, they dominated.
There you go, dominated.
That's a better word. Here we have the scores up on the board. Allen Park beat Taylor. Woodhaven defeated Carlson 37-22. Wyandotte Edsel Ford. Lincoln Park lost to Southgate. Lincoln Park's struggling. And then South Lyon, as I mentioned, Jeff Henson, a Lincoln Park boy, he coaches over there at South Lyon, and they're a strong team. And Trenton's obviously a strong team. South Lyon, eked by them, 29-21.
I don't know what the ins and outs on that game was, but 25-21, it had to be a pretty exciting game. Trenton lost, but they didn't get beat up.
No. It was, and they were on. I think South Lyon. I think Trenton went to South Lyon. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Email me and tell me I'm wrong. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the football coach.
I can handle it. I could text him right now and find out what happened.
No, not.
I have a couple other scores locally. Flat Rock defeated Monroe. Groseville lost to Milan, 35-13.
Milan's tough.
Melvindale struggling. They lost to Redford Union, their first league.
Well, that's a new conference, right?
Yeah, for them.
Gabriel
Richard, 45-6 over Clio.
Clio? Where the heck is Clio?
In the middle of the state.
Oh, okay.
Allen Park Cabrini, they defeated, here's a mouthful, Detroit University Prep Science and Match.
Did they have 11 players?
39-32. Well, apparently. River Roost, 58-0 over Detroit East English. Don't know who they are either. And one more score, Summit Academy defeated Macomb Lutheran 41-6. So some of the other schools in the B Division II or Division III, it could be. Those are results for those local schools.
Well, being the Joe Schmo that don't know, I asked the question, do they have 11 players? Are you penalized if you're playing with 10? I know you're penalized with too many men on the field or girls.
No, they don't throw a flag if you're a man
So
short.
I could play with 10?
You could play with 9 or 8, I would imagine.
I'd schedule them every year. They probably had 11,
You're
but I'll tell you what.
You're assuming they didn't have a full squad.
My assumption, and you're right, is that they did not have as many players on their team as Cabrini did. That's my assumption.
Okay, fair enough. And next week's games, we have a schedule here for our division, the Wyandotte division. Woodhaven is hosting Lincoln Park. That should be no problem for Woodhaven.
Correct.
Dexter's, that's a non-league game, obviously. Dexter and Etzel Ford, because we only have 9 teams in our division.
Correct.
Carlson's hosting Allen Park.
Allen Park's tough.
Should be a battle, yeah. Southgate is hosting Taylor. I think that's an even game.
This is the game of the
This
week.
is the game of the week. Wyandotte hosting
tough.
Trenton.
Wyandotte's very tough.
We should go to that one.
You should go to that one?
We should go to that one. We can talk about it a little bit the next
Should we
day.
call the coach and let him know we're there?
Get us the private suite. We should get to sit in the private suite.
They got suites? where we're sitting, it'll be private, I'll guarantee you.
Yeah,
I don't know about
right.
suite.
Maybe we'll make our way out there. It's Friday night. You know.
That's true enough. Hey,
I don't have any plans that I know of now.
you're the plans maker, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Right,
I'm on that.
Well, great. Then we got that. Okay.
So those are your scores. They're your games for next week. What else you got? You got anything else? I mean, I know we had some cross country, some tennis. We have some stuff that happened last week. Soccer.
We got soccer. We got boys soccer.
Boys soccer.
I got my booklet here. Okay, the standings now, just so you know, for the soccer. As of right now, Woodhaven, gosh, they are up there. 5-0, overall 7-2 though. So they did have a couple of losses, but apparently outside the division.
Probably play stronger teams outside the division to get into the swing of things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Unfortunately, they got the swing the wrong way, but yes. Allen Park's 5-0, but 6-3 outside their total record. That's a 4-3-1. Then there's Trenton, Taylor, Wyandotte's 1-3 and 1. 2-5 and 1 overall.
So they did answer the question last week that do they have ties?
Yes, they do.
They did tie 0-0.
Yes, they do. Why did they do that to the fans? You know, I don't understand. I come here to watch a tie.
Some of the best games are 0-0, 1-0 when it comes to like hockey and stuff like that. You know, I love, people get bored with the 1-0 game in hockey, but I'll say this out loud. Sometimes when you're on the edge of your seat on every shot, especially a playoff game of some magnitude, a Stanley Cup final game or a playoff game.
Well, that creates it by being 0-0 or being 1-1. You're on your seat because there's no scoring and any next shot, anything could happen. So yeah, I'll give you that. But 7-7, let's just say 7-7. Exciting game, soccer, bam, 7-7, going up and down, scoring. Now you're waiting for a goalie to make a save. How many times have you been up and down and kicking the ball at the goalie?
Right. Could you move?
I think they did every time they kicked the ball.
They went the wrong way. It is a big net, you know.
Well, but a shootout would be good while they're on a roll, 7-7. Anyway, that's just my thoughts from Joe Schmo.
All right. Well, I have some tennis results. Boys tennis kicked off, and Allen Park and Roosevelt kicked off the Downriver League season dual meet with a dual meet on Thursday afternoon, and Allen Park came away with a 5-3 victory. How the scoring goes in tennis, I do not know, but both programs last year were 3-4 in leagues, so this was a pretty even match, and it ended 5-3, which sounds pretty even to me, or 1 point from tying, either way. The number one singles, our Bears, Elliot Bernacci, he defeated the Allen Park's number one, so good for him. But then in the number two singles and the number two singles, the Allen Park kid won. Number 3 singles, Sammy Oswald beat the Allen Park kid. In the number 4 singles, the Jags guy won it. And the match swung on the doubles, I believe, because
seems to be
8 matches that go on, and the number 1 doubles, the Jags won. Number 2 doubles, the Jags won, and then we picked up a win at Roosevelt with the number 3 doubles as Mateo Juarez and Nick Hickney. They won their match, and then Allen Park won the number 4 doubles match. So there's your 5-3. Now I've got it figured out. I just learned out how it works. It's a point for every match. So Yeah, there weren't too many close matches. They were pretty lopsided, the whole thing. So, Wyandotte starts out 0-1. Allen Park starts out 1-0, but neither team competed for the league title last year in the boys. Now, in the girls, I think they tied for the league title, Allen Park and Roosevelt, along with Trenton. That was back in the spring. We can't remember back in the spring.
Yeah, we're working on last week. But yes.
Especially after that big birthday party you had.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I know I said goodbye. He just told me to wave. But volleyball, we got...
volleyball's kicking out, yeah.
Yes, it is. Coach is Alan Edwards.
I know our girls were at a tournament a week ago because our fab guy, Tom Wilson, he was at that tournament and posted it on Facebook that he was there. And he was like, "Go Bears,"
right.
I don't know the results. He goes to a lot of events. And his golf outing's coming up in a couple of weeks. Go to the Facebook page for Fab. Tell Mr. Wilson you're going to have a foursome if you haven't already. I know I haven't already. I have to. But he knows I'm coming, and he knows
Does he?
Well, I hope so.
Wow. So could he tell by the check you sent?
Yeah, that's
Oh, no.
It's in the mail.
It's in the mail.
It's in the mail.
I'm sending it out verbally to you there, Tom.
That's right. Can you cash that? Is that any good? Has it got any leverage?
Yes, yes.
So anyway, yeah, volleyball's kicking off.
Yes, and they play on the 12th. Woodhaven against Southgate, Carlson against Wyandotte, and Lincoln Park against Allen Park.
Ever been to a volleyball meet?
I have. My
Varsity girls, I mean the elite level, not the 9th grade, 8th grade, 5th grade,
no.
where they
no.
just hope to get it over the net in 5th grade.
No. That's probably why I lost a little interest.
It's
But-
pretty good stuff at the elite
And you're
level.
saying this because your daughter played.
I
So then
would have
you
never
were
been
obligated to be there.
and I learned a lot.
Okay, well,
Because when
not
you
saying
first
I
go-
watched Tiddlywinks, and you know what? I could learn a lot too in Tiddlywinks.
You have to go, and you just, why didn't they do that? Why? Because they can't. You learn a lot of things about the positioning players that they can't. The court's divided in half. You can't. The back people can't go up front and play,
No,
but they can leap from that line. They can leap from that line and hit the ball and land in there, but then they got to get their butt back out.
Well, I have
Things I
watched
learned.
ABC when they girls did it on the sand. Does that count?
Yeah, that's the same game.
It's the same.
Yes.
Hey,
it's
now
the-
see
Now
that.
they do show it on Big Ten Network. You ever watch it on Big Ten Network?
Did they play in the sand
The
and
college?
the sun? and-
No sand and sun.
Then I guess I missed it.
You missed that. Okay.
But I'll check it out next time they're playing on the sand. And
So the 12th
sun.
is, what is the 12th? Next Thursday. Season kicks off, looks like. And then the
Yes.
following week.
Then the following week, Wyandotte going to be at Southgate.
Oh, that's the Wyandotte schedule. there.
Right. Then they'll be at Edsel Ford. Then they'll be at Lincoln Park. And then they got TBDs.
To be determined. They play again, just because I got Fab involved in there, but Mr. Wilson will be at all those games. If you want, go sit next to him. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet. We sat next to him before.
Yes. It was a lot of fun then,
Should we
too.
put him in the middle again?
We could do that.
Hey, Tom,
He's
hand me Marty's bottle.
he's
Here,
a
Marty,
blast.
have mine.
He's a blast.
He's a lot of fun.
Got some cross-country results. There was the Watermelon Invitational.
Watermelon Invitational.
It was hosted by Trenton.
Just out of curiosity, so does everybody, like, to get in, you could bring a watermelon?
That must be your
Bring a
entry
water
fee.
instead of money?
It's your entry fee.
My entry fee
Yeah.
is watermelon?
Bring
And
'em.
then we get to throw it out on the field and...
Well, it's cross-country. It was held at Elizabeth Park. Obviously, it's a high school event. Divine Child won the event. What did it say? Had 3 runners in the top 5. So good for Divine Child.
Bad for us.
Riverview placed 4th. That was the highest team downriver. Girls Grosville finished 1st. How about that? They got some runners on Grosville, apparently.
Well, they probably run around the island.
That'd be a scenic run.
Yeah, that would be a very scenic run.
Allen Park finished 2nd in that invitational, and Wyandotte was 6th.
Well,
The individual champion, though, has connections with the city.
ooh, that's always good.
Samantha Cost, a apparently the
Samantha.
superintendent's daughter. I'm gonna look at the our producer's daughter or grandchild. Same last name though, and a relative of the superintendent.
Well, let me tell you, she did it in 19 minutes.
37 seconds.
37.2 seconds.
That's you know.
You ever been involved in cross country?
No, I did
Do you
run.
remember Mr. Bernie from Lincoln Park?
I can't say that.
Mr. Bernie had a state record. He had one leg longer than the other. So when he walked, it was like this anyway, which is kind of good if you're...
But he held a state record? He could run like that?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. But anyway, Mr. Bernie, a friend of mine, Mark McPherson, used to run cross country. So Mark was my buddy. I'd see Mr. Bernie because he was my teacher, and I wanted to pass typing because all the girls were in typing, and I was in typing, and I wanted to pass. So he had me mark off
Find any girls in typing?
cross country.
Is that where you met your wife in typing?
Well, let me tell you, all the girls in there weren't my type.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I was there anyway. So Mr. Bernie would have me rope off for the cross country so that they see the rope, they know where to run. Because other than that, you're not going to go to the kids, hey, just
Take a
take
left
off
up
there.
there.
You're going to
Right,
see
right,
somebody
right,
yelling
right.
at you. Take a. So they need some guidance. So I don't know what they do today. This was 1975, and
Gotcha. Well, we had some cross-countryers from Wyandotte. Aubrey Migoski, she finished in 23 minutes and some odd seconds. Paige Shinovar, 24. Noel Robinson, 25 minutes. And Lily Gauvin, 25 minutes. So where they placed accordingly, I do not know.
they stuck together though.
Yeah, I mean, they're
I mean,
running
25
cross
minutes,
country.
24,
You know,
23.
it's a long run. I know that. I want to mention one thing about the DNR.
The
You know,
DNR?
the Michigan DNR is improving point Melee.
I didn't see it on the paper.
I had to bring my phone because
Oh, okay.
I ran out of paper at home. Let's say that. I'm having printing issues. They got a
got more
$7
than
million
printing issues,
grant,
dude.
and they have re-upped point Melee. They have put some money into that whole game reserve down
Who
there
did
in
that?
Rockwood. The Michigan DNR.
Oh,
It's the Friends of the
Point Boulay.
Friends of the Detroit River, some group. But anyway,
Okay.
if you haven't been down there, you can get down there. You can walk through it. You can walk through it. It's really nice. And I just want to mention that because there are a lot of naturalists, nature people in the area. You know, we have some great parks
We do.
in the area. What they've done to Belle Isle is ridiculous. You know, the state took it over and put some money into it, and it looks great. And so same down here, downriver here.
Well-
if you want, walk around Rockwood and see all the improvements. They've made bird sanctuaries. They've made, fish areas where they can spawn and all kinds of stuff.
Well, on that note, I worked for the county, and they had naturalists. Do you know that geese will come back to where they laid their eggs and lay eggs again?
Every year.
Every year. So if they're born there, then they keep coming back there. So what the naturalists do, sorry if I get him in trouble, but I don't recall his name. He would go to their nests, and he would get the eggs and shake them up. I guess that's the earliest form of scrambled eggs.
No.
But he would shake them up so they'd die, so they wouldn't hatch there because they already had too many geese in that particular area.
They do the same with deer. They do the same with,
Sure, to keep-
right.
to
You have
keep
to
'em down.
control the numbers.
Absolutely. But in doing so, he told me a funny story that this geese come, and do you know how they fight? They fight, they jumped on his back, hooked into him, and beat the snot out of him with their wings.
No
And
kidding.
he said he's running around with this
Goose
big
hung
old
on his
goose
neck.
hung on his back. And then, of course, you're not supposed to kill them, wring their neck or something like that while you're doing
They're
it.
strong,
So-
too. They're
Yeah.
very strong.
Oh, yeah, he said that, too. He got the snot beat out of him, he
Yeah, I
said.
bet.
So next time he went out, he used a spotter to watch his back because of him shaking the eggs.
So now that let's talk a little college football while we have a few minutes left in the show. Both of our home college teams defeated the high school teams they were playing rather handedly. Michigan State was 4 touchdowns they won by. Michigan handled the other team, Tennessee, rather handily.
Correct. Well, they better do better on defense. And you're not going to play Middle Tennessee
every week. No,
State.
and same with State's offense, you know, non-existent.
State's offense, wow.
Non-existent.
I don't know, that Lewerke kid looked good, and then he seemed to have gone somewhere.
I don't know what, I don't have the answers, you know. I didn't even watch the game. It was on a Friday night.
I know a lot of college kids, when they first get to college, they're all about study, 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 and then he had a good year, and then the next year he figured, I could do this. Now, where are all the girls? I am the quarterback on the team.
He is the quarterback on the team.
So maybe he got a little confused in his daily workouts.
Maybe.
Possibly, but they don't play. Oh, they play Western today, and I think that might be interesting.
Michigan plays Army, so that'll
Michigan's got a tough one. They got the toughest one in
You keep
NCAA.
saying that.
Well, that's what they say.
As we want to announce that because I wanted to say the first week of fantasy football.
I do. Right. Wyandotte's got their senior friendship club, which is an autumn dinner dance on Saturday for all the ones that are seniors that still can dance.
September 14th.
September 14th. The doors open 12:30. Dinner's at 1:30. Wow, they want you to make sure you can digest it before you go to bed so you can keep you up all night.
That's right.
So dancing's from 2:30 to 5 so you can go home and rest.
Better
that's
get to them
interesting.
dance lessons I keep promising my wife.
Dance to the music of Solitaire. Now that's pretty good. These people are senior citizens. Some of them probably sit in a room and play Solitaire.
So fantasy
and now
football
they
is
got to
kicking.
dance to the music of Solitaire.
Fantasy football is kicking off, honey. We're gonna get those dance lessons one of these days.
Yeah,
Suicide pools and fantasy football.
Suicide pool. Who are you picking this week?
I like Dallas.
Dallas?
I like Dallas.
They're going to play a Zeke?
It doesn't matter. I don't think New York Giants are a bad team.
Ooh.
I just don't think. I hope. I mean, what do I know
you got
about?
your money where your
what
mouth
do I
is.
know about suicide pools? I don't know anything about suicide
I'm going
pools.
with yeah, something I heard. I'm going with Cleveland this week.
Cleveland's home.
Cleveland's home.
Who are they hosting?
A team they're going to beat, or else I'm going to choke everybody in
Who
Cleveland.
are they hosting?
I don't really know.
Well, then you should know more than that. And everybody put your fantasy lineups in. Get a hold of us, localsportswrapup@gmail.com. Please send us an email. Let us know what you think. I do get the replies on Facebook. People are, Kenny's wife's kind enough to post the shows. We're on YouTube. Got to say hi, Mom. One of our faithful watchers there, Ken.
Fantastic. I need them, or we need them.
Happy birthday again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
61, huh?
61, that's what I hear.
Marty will be 60 next month. Shh, don't tell anybody.
You know, when you get older, they drop your Social Security check between your fingers, and whatever one you can grab, you get to keep.
That's how it works.
If not, yeah, then it goes to the kids.
I like it. Thanks for watching. Catch us next week on your local sports wrap-up show. Ken, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Marty.